So this will be lesson 1 on working with the calculator reference sheet. We're going to mix or combine together the mixed numbers and the fractions into one lesson. They kind of go together. So we're going to kind of show you how fractions work on a calculator. I know a lot of y'all will probably be happy about that, but I did want to give you a little bit of meaning behind some of the fraction language that we deal with. So let's look at these two fractions here that are being added together. I have 2a plus 3a. One thing you got to remember though is something we did a while back, and that is just talking about a little bit of multiplication. Remember, 3 times 5 means 5 plus 5 plus 5. So multiplication is essentially repeating the number over and over again in an addition problem. So 3 tells you how many times to add 5. So 5, 10, 15 would be our answer. So that's what 3 times 5 means. In fraction language, 2/8 actually means 2 times 1/8. So 2/8 means 2 1/8. And if I add to that 3/8, 3/8 actually means 3 1/8. And the way we can do that is we can kind of slice it up into pieces. So how we do it though is we have to have 8s. That's our fraction family here. And to have 8s, what we're allowed to do is we're allowed to cut the whole into 2 equal pieces, and then cut each of those pieces into 2 equal pieces, and then cut each one of those pieces into 2 equal pieces. I didn't do a real good job there, but those are supposed to be equal pieces. So we should have 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So that's what 8s are. So we actually focus on the 8th part first, and then we come back and look at the 2. The 2 says actually to take 2 of the 8s, and then we take another, because adding kind of means add on to that, take 3 more 8s. So what we see is that 2/8 plus 3/8 is going to be then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/8. So actually this problem would be 5/8. So what we pick up on in math is fractions like this actually are pretty easy to do. So if we have the same family, and what that means is if you have a common denominator, if the denominators are the same, it's actually pretty easy to add fractions. All we have to do is add the numerators and keep the denominator. So all we really got to do is go 2 plus 3, which is going to give me my 5, and keep the denominator, which is 8. I really don't have to draw pictures because that takes a lot of time to do. And that's really where it all begins, is with visuals. But there are shortcuts to the math. Something else that we can focus on is how to put this into the calculator. Again, we can turn the on button on. I hold down the on button and then hit the clear button. That memory clears it, and then just clear it off. So to use a calculator on this, to put 2/8 in the calculator, I first have to use this N over D button. N over D, if you find the number 7, if you go 3 up from 7, 1, 2, 3, that's where that N over D button is. So that's actually the first key I hit is the N over D. And when you do that, it creates a format for the top and the bottom. And again, the top is called the numerator, so that's why there's a letter N there for numerator. And then the D stands for denominator. So I hit that button, and then the next thing I have to do is hit the numerator. So I put the 2 in. I have to work my way to the denominator, so I have to use that directional pad. I actually have to hit the down arrow on it, and that moves me to the bottom of the fraction. I then enter the 8 into the calculator. Notice that your cursor is still blinking on the bottom. You now have to hit the right arrow to get out from beneath the fraction. Now you're ready to put the plus sign in. So hit the plus sign. I need to make my next fraction, so again I have to hit the N over D button. So go back and find the N over D button and hit it. It creates the format for the numerator and the denominator. I then enter the numerator, but to get to the denominator I have to hit the down arrow. So I hit the down arrow. I now need to hit the 8 into the calculator. I need to now hit the right arrow to get out from underneath there. And then if I hit enter, it'll give me my 5/8. So the calculator can also give you 5/8, but notice that took a lot of time just to put that in the calculator. If we have the same denominator, it's actually pretty easy to just type the fraction in as 2 plus 3 and keep the 8. Okay. An algebraic extension to this is if I have a problem like 4x plus 2x, a lot of times we'll call this combining like terms. These are like terms because they have the same variable. So in adding like terms, what we're allowed to do is say, hey, there's 4x's here, and then there's 2x's. So remember, 4x kind of means that you have x plus x plus x plus x. That's what it means. And you're adding 2 more x's, x plus x. So essentially what you have is an addition problem, but we can actually change it to a multiplication problem because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. So I can just write that as 6 times x. 6 times x is a simplified version of this thing over here, of all these x's. So 4x plus 2x, instead of writing it down as 4x's plus 2x's, the shortcut is all we have to do is add the coefficients. The coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. So the 4 and the 2 are called our coefficients. So what we're allowed to do is add 4 plus 2, and then we just keep the variable. So that would be then, so we have 4 plus 2, and then we keep the variable x, so we just call that 6x. Notice it's not a good idea to use the multiplication symbol, my addition symbol looks like an x, so you've got to be real careful and make sure it don't look like an x. That can really confuse things. Keep in mind also, you can't put 4x plus 2x in the calculator, but you can put the coefficients into the calculator. So if we had a problem like 2/8x plus 5/8x, plus 3/8x. If I had a problem like that, we actually could say, hey, these are like terms, and all I got to do is add the coefficients. So 2/8 plus 3/8 would in turn give me my 5/8, and then I can keep the x along with that and say it's 5/8x. So I can extend that over into an algebraic extension if I like. Okay. I believe that's got what we need. We'll see what lesson 2 brings out.